Imagine a park, not a place of joy and laughter, but a realm of darkness where the unthinkable occurs. Picture a landscape once teeming with life, now eerily silent, save for the chilling wind that rustles through the skeletal remains of once vibrant trees. The swing set creaks hauntingly, a ghost of the innocent cheer it once brought. Enter our protagonist, a regular visitor, drawn to this desolate park's uncanny tranquility. But recently his serene retreat has begun to feel off. Shadows flicker at the edge of his vision, darting away when he turns to look. The wind carries whispers, unintelligible, yet deeply unsettling. An oppressive sense of being watched seeps into his consciousness, turning his peaceful solitude into a nerve-wracking ordeal. Each visit, the strange phenomena grow stronger, the shadows more persistent, the whispers louder, the feeling of unseen eyes more invasive. Little did he know, his life was about to take a turn into the terrifying unknown. As the days grew darker, so did the horrors that awaited our unsuspecting protagonist. The once comforting whispers of the wind in the trees of the park had taken on an ominous undertone. They were no longer whispers but voices, clear yet indistinguishable, echoing through the empty park. The shadows cast by the old oak tree, previously benign, seemed to contort and shift into sinister forms. They danced and flickered, as if alive, eerily mimicking the movements of some unseen spectre. They were not just shadows anymore. They had taken on a life of their own, creating a spectral ballet in the moonlight. The feeling of being watched, initially dismissed as mere paranoia, had grown stronger with each passing day. The sensation was no longer a fleeting unease, but a constant presence. An unseen observer, always lurking in the periphery, seemed to be watching, waiting. Driven by a cocktail of fear and curiosity, our protagonist made a decision that might have seemed foolish to some, but he felt it was necessary. He decided to confront the unseen terror. One fateful night, armed with nothing but his courage, he chose to venture into the park. The moon hung low in the sky, casting long, eerie shadows that seemed to reach out for him. His heart pounded in his chest like a war drum as he stepped onto the dew-drenched grass. In the deafening silence of the night, he stepped into the park, unknowingly walking towards his doom. The park, once a sanctuary, now held a secret darker than the night itself. Our protagonist, his heart pounding like a drum, stepped deeper into the park's abyss. The once familiar playground morphed into a grotesque landscape, its innocence replaced by an uncanny presence. Suddenly, the horrifying revelation struck him like a bolt of lightning. He stood frozen as the terror he'd been running from loomed before him. It was not a creature of fangs or claws, but a manifestation of his deepest fears, a spectre that defied description. It was not just the park that had changed, but reality itself, twisted and distorted by this unseen horror. His mind screamed for him to flee, yet his feet refused to move, as if the very ground beneath him conspired to keep him rooted. An icy gust of wind blew, carrying with it the whispers of the terror that resided in the park. Each whisper was a chilling reminder of the nightmare that had now become his reality. Mustering every ounce of courage, he tore himself away from the spot. His desperate attempt to escape was a dance with death itself. Every shadow seemed to reach out for him, every rustle of leaves echoed with sinister laughter. The park, once a sanctuary, was now a labyrinth of horror. As he stumbled out of the park, he left behind not just the terror, but also a piece of his sanity. The park now stood silent, its secret horrors hidden once again in the shadows. The echoes of terror had receded, leaving behind a chilling hush. Our protagonist emerged scarred, his life forever tainted by the macabre spectacle he'd witnessed. Each day, each night, the unspeakable horrors revisited him, a ceaseless reminder of that dreadful encounter. His dreams were filled with sinister whispers, his reality overshadowed by a haunting dread. He never stepped into the park again, but the park, it never left him. It never left.